Alright guys, welcome back to 1822 MC Adventures and More. I've gotten a very late start today. It's already 3 o'clock. So I need to get my tent up, get some firewood, and get established before it gets dark. So bear with me for a minute here. Alright guys, as you can see, it's starting to get dark. I've got camp set up. I've got a pile of wood. I've got a fire ready to start. And my tent and my sleeping bags all set up, so it is time to make something to eat. Alright, so my fire pit's ready. What I did was I just kind of dragged the dirt up to it, so I got some air channels. So in here, I got some about 1-inch sticks down on the bottom. And then I got a bunch of pine needles, and I got some fat wood in here, and some small twigs, so this should go right up. And just like that, we got a fire. So we got Parmesan fettuccine pasta with some smoked sausage. And these bags here, I get these at the dollar store. I know I've said that before. But they're only $1, and when I cut them in half, they're just right for me. I'm going to have them set off to the side right now while I'm cooking this. I can always hold them down a little closer later on as needed. Some pasta and sausage. That ought to warm me right up. Yeah, it's supposed to get down to the high 20s tonight. We'll see. Alrighty guys, here we go. Some Parmesan noodles and some smoked sausage. Smells really good. Looks kind of disgusting, but smells good. We'll put a little hot sauce in here. And we should be good to go here. You know, this is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and eat this, and I'll turn the camera on here in a few minutes. But yeah, half a bag of noodles Parmesan and smoked sausage. Good, really good. With some hot sauce. Excellent. Alright guys, so I got up this morning and it was 27 degrees. Totally unsatisfactory. It was fucking cold, man. So I get up, I boiled some water real quick, made some hot chocolate, made some oatmeal, got about doing my shit. And after a while I fried some bacon up, and all of a sudden I realized, like, man, I'm like dragging ass. Didn't make any coffee this morning, so time to make some coffee. And I'm running a little low on gas, so I'm gonna see if I can pull this off on the fire. Some of you have seen me do this before, some of you haven't. I've never done it on a fire before, so let's see what happens. First trick is cold water into the coffee pot. All right, let's see what happens here. Yeah, like I said, 27 degrees when I woke up this morning. Man, it was cold. And I even had tried a couple of hacks on my sleeping system. Failed. I mean, they're good hacks. I'll get into that in a minute, but yeah, failed. I've just got to buy a nicer sleeping bag for cold weather. I do have an old military sleeping bag, but and it'll keep you warm. Man, that thing will keep you warm. I have slept in the middle of February in the Midwest on the ground with a poncho laying in the snow, my military sleeping bag with the old-fashioned cotton duck canvas type of cover over the top of it, and slept sound and slept well. Those old school bags with the down in them, they will keep you warm. But they compress to about the size of 2 basketballs. They do not compress at all. So I need to find me a sleeping bag that'll comfortably fit a man that is 6'5". I don't want a mummy bag. This day and age, I'm just can't do it. So I'm kind of what I'm looking for is a bag they used to call them a tapered bag. It wasn't really a mummy bag, wasn't really a full-size bag, but it's like it was narrow at the foot and it was a little wider at the shoulders, and they usually would compact pretty good. But yeah, what I did for my bag, and I think I've mentioned before, it's a fucking $10 bag. I really know better, but it's a $10 bag. I bought it at Sports Academy, and it's rated for 45 degrees. That's probably if you're wearing a fucking heated suit. But it serves its purpose quite well in the springtime and in the early fall. But what I did was I took an old sheet, folded it in half, sewed up the bottom, and then I sewed it about halfway up for a sleeping bag liner. And then I brought my normal 2 wool blankets, and man, it was cold. So I'm sleeping on a semi-insulated air mattress. It has like a 1.9 R value, better than no R value. Then I got a heavy blanket on top of that. Then I got the sleeping bag liner, and then I got an old school Pendleton trapper's blanket. And it's a really warm blanket, but it wasn't warm enough last night. And I was sleeping in wool socks, long underwear, long sleeve t-shirt. And then I ended up, in the middle of the night, I got up and I put my pants on and I put a sweatshirt on, and then I was all right. But Yeah, just got to get a better sleeping bag, that's all. Hate to spend the money, because when I look at decent sleeping bags, I'm like, damn. But I do know you get what you pay for, but I definitely want one that compacts down. Because, you know, a big bulky bag, it just takes up too much room. Let's check on this here. Getting there. So I'm going to let that sit there for a little while and just enjoy the sound of the woods. Hope you enjoy it too. Alrighty guys, while we're waiting on the water to boil, this is what I got going on inside the hooch today. Back in the corner there is my rucksack. In the front corner right here is my camera gear, smoke stick. I got my sleeping arrangement. Like I said before, I got an air mattress, then I got a blanket on top of that. I got my sleeping bag. I've got a sleeping bag liner in there, and then I got that blanket on top. For when it cools off a little bit more, I'll put my sweatshirt back on. Underneath my rolled up leather jacket is a dry bag that has my sleeping clothes and extra socks and undies in it. And then my little pillow. I didn't bring my big camo tarp because I knew I wouldn't be needing it. But I did bring my rain fly. And it's nothing more than just a Harbor Freight camo tarp. The only mod I made to it is right here where the poles go. I got like 4 layers of Gorilla Tape. And for a nightlight, I got this new lantern. I got it at the dollar store. It was like $6. And I thought it was really nice because you can adjust the light by sliding it up and down. And there was nothing wrong with the little one that I had before, but I had a battery explode in there and it messed it up. And the high light worked and the low light didn't. So if you didn't turn it off right, you'd kill the battery. So I just needed a new cheap lantern. And this was the only lantern they had. So it's a good one because a lantern is better than no lantern. But for what it is, from the dollar store for like $6 and I think it was 29 cents or some crazy shit like that. So far, I'm pretty happy with it. Runs on 3 AA batteries. I'm sure you can get one just like it at Suckmart or any other box store, but I live in a little rinky-dink town and we got a Dollar General. Anyways, let's go check on the water. Well, that water is about to boil, but I'm gonna fall asleep waiting on that thing, so we're going to go ahead and speed this up. So I am definitely on the market for a new sleeping bag. I mean, this little failure here convinced me that because I should not have to sleep in long underwear, wool socks, blue jeans, long sleeve t-shirt, and a sweatshirt. Of course, I wear a little sock on my head, but still, got to be a better way to do that, right? And there is. It's called go to the fucking store and get another bag. Now, of course, I could still use that military bag I have, and it's actually a tall one. It fits me just fine, but it's got that surplus smell that'll never go away, and I've had the bag probably 30 years. And it's getting to the point now where if you have a failure with it, you're fixing it with duct tape and not a needle and thread, because if you stick it with a needle, it just makes it worse. The fabric's about wore out, which check this out. I did not get this here. I got this actually down by Dixon Field the last time I was down there fooling around. I found this little Altoids tin. Now I'm like, you know, I've seen people make stoves out of them and all kinds of little weird shit. I'm like, yeah. So I shake it and I'm like, huh, there's something in there. So I pop it open, and to the person that lost this, you know what was in there. All right? Lazy motherfucker. I sat there and I ripped up 2 joints and there was seeds and shit in them. So to the pothead that lost this, if you can remember about where you lost it, I took your 2 joints and I ground them up and I threw them out there in the fucking woods. So I may have done a Johnny Appleseed, or they might have been eaten by a fucking mouse. I don't know. But what this is now is, let's see if I can do this, is I got a couple loose needles in here. But I got this imitation cat gut twine with a couple of big needles, so I can do equipment repair or whatever. And what I need to do is find something small and wrap some thread around it, and then I'll have an actual sewing kit. But yeah, I saw that when I opened it up. I was like, shit, man. So somebody lost 2 joints, but I got a fucking sewing kit out of it. So it's a win-win situation. Yeah, I won by finding the can, and he wins by learning a good lesson. If you're gonna do stupid shit like that out in the woods, don't fucking leave it behind, because a fucking kid might find it. And if a kid found it, he might be stupid enough to fucking smoke it. If a kid found it, how does that kid know that it's actually just pot? It might be pot that's laced with something. Yeah, people do that, you know that. So a fucking kid could fucking find a joint, go to fucking light it up, and it might be laced with angel dust, and the next thing you know, he's chewing bark off the fucking trees and going crazy, and he'll run out in front of a fucking car, or worse. Just not a good thing, right? Just fucking destroy the shit when you find it. We are just about boiling. But yeah, those little tins, perfect thing for a sewing kit. Like I said, I got a couple big needles in there. I got 2 little small needles, but I don't have any actual thread. That's my next thing, is get a little thread and put in there, and I'm going to call that a sewing kit. But yeah, this morning it was so cold. I already had the stove sitting outside the tent, man. I just turned the damn stove on, boiled me some water, made some hot chocolate real quick, because I certainly didn't want to wait for that. It was just too fucking cold. And after eating some oatmeal and drinking some hot chocolate, I felt pretty good, so I started milling around, collecting firewood. I need to collect some more firewood, because if I drink some coffee here late in the day like this, I probably, hopefully, will feel up to telling some campfire stories. Got a million of them. All I got to do is focus on one. Yeah, one thing for sure, this isn't a bad little stove. I do like it, but it don't blow heat like that old school antique Coleman that I have. That thing throws some heat in a hurry. And for water, I brought 2 of these out with me, and then I brought 3 1-quart canteens. Should be just about enough. Because I'm going to spend the night again, and then tomorrow I'm going to leave. So I will have spent 2 nights. And tonight will be a lot more nicer. It's supposed to only get down to about 40. So I should be real good with that. Alrighty guys, we're in business. The water is finally boiling. And normally what I do in this pot right here, put about a 1/4 cup of coffee in there, which is about 3 of these big old spoons that I use. This is 1, 2, 3, and I need to turn this down some. And yikes, hate it when that happens. If you're not careful, that's exactly what happens. It will boil over the top on you. It doesn't affect what you're doing, it just makes a mess. Alrighty, let's see what happens here. Now, normally if it doesn't boil over on you like that, you let it roll for about 5 minutes. You shouldn't mess with it before it boils, but once it boils, it's alright to swish it around a little and try to get your coffee grinds back down into the water. You can use a paper towel if you want to, but normally this works pretty good right here like this. Yeah, I've been making coffee like this for a long time, and even still to this day, if I don't pay attention, it'll boil over on me. Doesn't really hurt nothing, just makes a mess. So we'll let that go like that for a couple of minutes. Kids, don't try that at home. I am a trained professional. So that's just about done. I'll probably let that boil over one more time. And I had been talking about shirts and mugs. This is one of the mugs that I will be printing. I'm probably just going to put my logo on it. And that's about it. But I'll have mugs like this. I'll have water bottles, and I'll also have some big ceramic type coffee mugs. Alright, that's it. I'm calling that done. Alright, so now, of course the trick to this is after you've boiled it, you have to let it sit for a few minutes. The grinds will kind of sort of drop. And then you pour some cold water in there, and then that drops the rest of the grinds and it stays on the bottom. Just don't drink the last cup. Alrighty, here we go. It's sat for a couple of minutes now. So now what I'll do is I'll pour a little water down the snout. That helps wash out the grinds that boil up in there. And I'll put a little cold water in there. We'll let that sit another minute. And I actually forgot the brand of this coffee. It's a special coffee from New Orleans. My wife had ordered it with some special pastry dough. And it's basically coffee with chicory in it. But it's pretty good. Normally when I'm out here I drink the dark roast from the Croatan Coffee Roasting Company. That's my most favorite coffee. Done locally. You can always get shit done better locally, always. But let's go ahead and give this thing a try. Alright, here's to you. Oh yeah, that's excellent. But I'm going to put some cut in it. Brown sugar. And some liquid coffee mix, mini moos, coffee mates, whatever they are. I got both. Alrighty, let's do this. Oh yeah, just the way I like it. I believe about right there. We'll keep that warm the rest of the day. All right, let's see if we can enjoy a cup of coffee without getting a whole lot of smoke in our eyes. The wind just doesn't seem like it can make its mind up which way it wants to blow. But yeah, it's some really good coffee. I'll edit it in what it is. All I know is it's a chicory type coffee, so that means it's coffee with tree bark basically mixed in it. But it is good. But as I recall, back in the olden days when coffee was a luxury and not a necessity, that a lot of the old timers would take chicory root or chicory bark or whatever it is they use in this stuff, and they'd dry it and grind it up and use it as a coffee substitute. You know, with our future being very uncertain at the moment, some of them old ways might be a good thing to know for some of you young folks. You know, I don't have the time to teach people, but there's a lot of good information out there. You know, not like living out in the woods like a caveman, but to be able to survive on a daily basis like we had to do back in the early 30s after the stock market crashed and we went through the Depression. I know my grandparents and great-grandparents and some of my older uncles and aunts, they told me stories about what it was like when there weren't no food stamps, wasn't no welfare office, there wasn't nothing. There was the charity of your fellow man, and that was about it. Government didn't give a fuck. My point being that, you know, in the near future, we might not have an internet. We might only have state-sponsored media. Life as we know it might change an awful lot. And if you're not ready for that change, I feel sorry for you. You know, if you ain't got a fucking bookshelf full of books, what are you going to do with yourself? Some of my younger friends used to laugh at me when I'd stress the importance of books. And they'd be like, well, I can just look it up online. And I'm like, yeah, you can do that today. Might not be able to do that tomorrow. And unless they come to my house and burn my books, I got a whole library. I'm not saying I read them every day, but I have a bunch of books. So if the internet was to go down, I got a lot of reading I could catch up on. Anyways, let's enjoy this coffee, because once I get gassed up from some of this coffee, I'm going to have to collect some more firewood. So yeah, sitting out here in the Croatan National Forest, drinking some fresh brewed Cowboy coffee. Life is good. Life is real good right now. Know what's going to happen tomorrow? It's anyone's guess. But today is good. Good day to die. Good day to live. Just a good day in general. So yeah, I'm going to finish this up and we'll go get some wood. Alright everybody, as you can see, I got plenty of firewood tonight for a story, and then some. But right now, I need some energy. I need a cup of coffee, and then we'll go ahead and get dinner going. What do you think about that?